This shit more than a game.
Perfect.
Imagine if you had a kid who really struggled with math, like really struggled with math. And so you tutored him, you made him stay after school for some extra teaching. And then he takes his math test and he comes back home with a 70. That's way different from his past math tests of 50s and 60s, right? How would you feel? Odds are you're sane. You'll be a little bit satisfied with that. You could call it a moral victory. The kid who used to only get 50s and 60s in math now is getting 70s. No, it's not a 100, but knowing what the kid was going into that test, him coming home with a 70 on his math test is a moral victory. That is what the New Orleans Saints are right now, folks. We are that kid who was struggling with his math test. So when we come home with a 70, that is a moral victory. And that is the art of the moral victory. If you had a smart kid and he came home with a 70, well, that's a failure. Because hold on, kid. Why are you getting 70s when we're used to you getting 90s and 100s when we know what level of student you can be? But when we know that you're a struggling student, we're okay with you getting a 70 because we know where you are at this part of your life. We know where the New Orleans Saints are in this part of their iteration of this current era. The Saints can get by with moral victories. I'll tell you a franchise who cannot get by with moral victories because they're about to start the season in a few weeks. Right down the block, the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, that is a franchise, but you will not hear me come on any show or any of my platforms and say that was a great moral victory for the New Orleans Pelicans. Why? Because we know what the Pelicans can achieve. They're not the struggling Matt kid who you are just happy to come home with a 70 on his test. The Pelicans are in year 7 of this current era, the Zion Williamson era, to be clear. They don't get moral victories. But the Saints, they do get moral victories because we know where they are. Yes, we would like a 100 on the test sometimes, but we know what the Saints were going into the test as a student. So when they get 70s, you're proud because that is what a moral victory can be. And that is where, if you all are real to what the state of this franchise is, you would know that moral victories are okay. What the Saints did this past Sunday was a moral victory. Should it become the standard? No. But again, the Saints are that struggling math student. Right now, we're tutoring them up to hopefully one day be an A+ student. But we cannot expect A+ results for a D student. And right now, the Saints are a D student. And because of that, when they do take little bitty moral victories, like hanging tough with the best, arguably the best team in the league, the Buffalo Bills, you take it. Because that, ladies and gentlemen, is the art of the moral victory. And that is where the 2025 New Orleans Saints stand at right now. And if you feel any different, well, then you damn sure wasn't paying attention for the past 4 seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the John Barnes Show, but it's shit more than a game.
From the stands, I'm invested. Every loss hurt like a lesson, we tested. Front porch talk turn to Sunday confessions. From dome to the block, it's all one connection. From Eric to Drew, Alvin to Cam, talk down on my squad. Boy, I be damned. I rap for the ones that never got fame, still yelling loud. This shit more than a game. Cause y'all know why. This shit more than a game. It ain't no lie. This shit more than a game. You know that's right. This shit more than a game. And y'all know why. This shit more than a game. Now I got Lil John sitting on my knee, teaching them young what it mean to believe. This bigger than scores, it's what we became. He gon' know off top, this shit more than a game. Clarissa in the back, giving me all types of stress, but deep down she know the husband the best. She knows he's crazy, she know he's mean, but she know the kid 100% New Orleans. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. It ain't no lie, this shit more than a game. You know that's right, this shit more than a game. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. Yeah, when you see Jono scream, this shit more than a game. And when you see a Falcons fan, just call out for Jonathan. And yeah, this shit more than a game. New Orleans know this shit more than a game. Louisiana know this shit more than a game. Texas know this shit more than a game. Whole world know this shit more than a game. Y'all know why.
This shit more than a game. Yo, we have to start off every edition of the John O'Bone Show. Please leave this shit more than a game in the chat right now, because we all know when it comes to this franchise that we cheer for, one of the most important things apparently is the vibes. Getting the vibes off to a great start. The vibes are definitely off to a great start when even wifey is joining the show tonight on a very busy night with her and our toddler kid, but still has time to come on in and say this shit more than a game. So leave a this shit more than a game in the chat right now. If not for me, or if not for my wife, do it, y'all, for my nephew, because he wanted to leave a present for the this shit more than a game community. He wanted to leave the official drawing of the John O'Bone Show to all of the this shit more than a game community members. And he said, Uncle Jono, I gotta let the world know that you are not the only one in this family who is this shit more than a game certified, but even I, my nephew, is this shit more than a game certified, and he threw these amazing photos for the John O'Bone Show and all of you guys. So shout out to my nephew, Aaron. Thank you for the amazing artwork, my nephew. You are going to be a tremendous, tremendous artist in your lifetime. And we already know why, because you are this shit more than a game certified. Shout out to my nephew, Aaron. Shout out to everybody joining the show tonight. I see you all in the chat, and we got a lot to talk about. So let's get right on into it. The New Orleans Saints did not get blown out by the Buffalo Bills this past Sunday. The New Orleans Saints actually made the Bills and their fans sweat it out a bit, which just goes back to my opening rant. Hey, sometimes moral victories are A-OK. Now, I'm not saying that should be the standard. I'm not saying that, we should always be celebrating when the Saints, I'm not saying that let's throw a parade because we lost by 12 points, I believe. No, even though the Vegas line was, I believe, 14.5. So shout out to everybody who bet the Saints plus 14.5. But it is a moral victory for a team that got that ass whooped in Seattle to go to Buffalo a week later, where Buffalo is right now arguably the best team in the NFL, and give them a scare, make them sweat it out a bit, give them a fight. Because the sign of a team that is really imploding, the sign of a team that is really, really, really bad is a team that takes that Seattle ass whooping and is like, oh, well, we know where we are. Doesn't make any sense to show up to Buffalo and put up a fight. We know that they're going to whip out, but they're the mighty Buffalo Bills. No, the Saints came in. They fought hard. They made Buffalo sweat it out. There was a legitimate moment during that game where I thought the Saints were going to win that game. Maybe that's just me being a silly Saints fan. That was a legitimate moment during that game that I said, oh, shoot, I think the Saints are actually going to win this game. So much so that my wife can vouch for it. I started planning skits. Y'all know I love my post-game skits on the Saints winning in the third quarter. I had to start legitimately preparing. I said, I think the Saints actually might win this game. Lord knows I already had like some ideas for if the Saints lost, what skits I was going to do. But in the third quarter, I said, I actually need to think of some skits to hurry up and post after this game because the Saints might actually win this thing. Now, ultimately, the Saints didn't win. Ultimately, the Saints lost 31-19, right? We're not going to get any trophies after the season for losing by 12 points to the Buffalo Bills. I get all that. And I understand for all of the jaded fans who say, oh, how mighty you guys have fallen. You guys are now celebrating losing by 12 points to the Buffalo Bills. I'm not celebrating that, but I'm a realist. And I am, the NFL may not be fair, but I am fair. And if I can come on this show last week and give the Saints hell getting their ass whooped by the Seattle Seahawks, I can come on this show knowing that the Saints, like I said in my opening rant, is a struggling student who needs to be tutored. I can give them love for coming back home with a 70 on their test. It's not the best spot to be in as a fan base, but it damn sure ain't the worst spot to be in as a fan base. The best spot to be in as a content creator is when we get super chats like the one from the great Brute saying, "What them goddamn this shit more than the game air horns at?" And Brute Saint says his biggest positive from this game is, according to PFF, Calvin Banks was our third best offensive player, Jonas Senker was our best defensive player, and Quincy Roddy was our sixth best defensive player. All are rookies. This shit more than a game. Yes, Bruce Saint, I am going to get to that part in a little bit because I say this in my reaction video after the game, which hopefully you guys are still watching my post-game reaction videos. I say this was the first game in the season where I'm leaving the game saying, finally, I can identify a player or two where I'm like, that's going to be a player that is a key part of turning this goddamn team around, hopefully by 2027 when we feel like we can be legitimate contenders again. So great point, Bruce Saint, and I will get to that in a little bit. But the Saints lose 31-19 to the Buffalo Bills, and Lord knows everybody thought the Saints were going to lose by 20, maybe even 30 points, right? I mean, you don't go lose to Seattle Seahawks, who wasn't the most juggernaut of teams right now, and think that you're going to go to Buffalo and put up a better performance. But the Saints did. Hell, sometimes you got to get your ass whipped to get back up and bounce back like we mystical. We bounce back. Now, I know, again, I'm not trying to say champion the team or throw them a parade because they only lost by 12 points, but I understand where the current state of this franchise is. And so I can be a fair fan and I can be a graceful fan and show them grace when they perform the way they performed. And they performed pretty well on Sunday. You have no complaints from me. Now, if it's 2027 and we're losing by 12 points to the Buffalo Bills or whoever, no, I'm not doing more victories 2 years from now. But I'm not going to get on my soapbox and say this team needs to rebuild. We need to accept who we are and then get mad when we're actually rebuilding. I know what comes with a rebuild, okay? I don't think that you can accept or you should accept, getting thrusted the way we did in Seattle. But I do think that you can accept and be positive if you want to use the P word, or even just content if you want to use the C word. I know, the P and C word usually isn't what y'all think it is. On here, it's positive and content. You can be content with that performance from the New Orleans Saints. Because for us to go into Buffalo, playing a team that many are thinking is going to be in the Super Bowl this year, to give them a good fight, that's impressive. You can also argue devil's advocate, well, of course, Buffalo didn't take the Saints serious. They were looking ahead to their schedule, and that's all fair. That's all possibly valid. But the data is the data. We can only go by what we saw in the game tape. The New Orleans Saints for 4 quarters. Hell, I mean, it didn't get out of hand until like late in the fourth quarter. They get the Buffalo Bills a scare. So much so that I saw Buffalo Bills kind of sweating it out. Shout out to my guy, Brother Bill, who joined the show last week. He was sweating it out a little bit. He was like, John, y'all had me kind of like on the edge of my couch saying, whoa, hold on now. We really about to lose to the Saints? I cannot ask for much more than that. I mean, I can ask for a win, but, I'm a Graceville fan. So I want to know, how did you guys feel after that game between the Buffalo Bills and the New Orleans Saints? I will also say this. I was very, very impressed with Kellen Moore. I gave Kellen Moore a lot of shit last week. I tell everybody this all the time, man. I am a fair fan. Like, you do great. I am great to you. You play like shit. I'll probably shit on you. I'm not a complicated man. The team plays like shit. The coach coaches like shit. I'm going to tell them that they're coaching and playing like shit. The team plays pretty great. I'm going to come on here and say that they're playing pretty great. Now, great may be too strong of a word given where we are as a franchise right now, but I thought Kellen Moore called his best game this past Sunday. Yes, even with the very polarizing trick play, the Philly special that they did in our red zone. I understand that. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I think he had the team prepared. We cut down on the penalties. He actually was finally walking on the sideline like he actually was like, I'm the head coach. He actually was sticking his chest out for the first time, it felt like to me. And I am starting to see some concepts in this offense that when we actually get better talent, I can see this offense being a very good offense. He can only work with the soldiers that he has. And right now, sadly, the soldiers aren't, World War II decorated soldiers, all right? We might be having Vietnam War soldiers. That sounds good in my head. Probably doesn't sound good out loud, but still. He only can work with the soldiers that he has. But I'm seeing concepts when I watch people do film study review, and I'm seeing that the Saints are like in top 5 in pace when it comes to how quick they get to the ball and how fast they want to be. And I'm very, 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 very optimistic about what the offense can be when Kellen Moore gets his soldiers. Now, we still got to see like his resolve as a head coach, how he manages, struggling players, how he manages every aspect of what being a head coach is. Yes, we know that he is a great play caller, but there's more to being a great NFL head coach than being a great play caller on offense or defense. You have to have a lot of hats, and we'll still see over time can Kellen Moore wear a lot of hats. But from what I saw this past Sunday, that was probably my most impressed as a fan of Kellen Moore and his play calling and just how he had the team prepared to fight and how the team came out and played. I was like, Kellen Moore, I will give you your flowers. Because again, when I'm critical, maybe I'm annoying to a lot of, hey guys, I'm a real Saints fan. Not him. Not Jono. Look at me, Mickey Loomis. I'm a real Saints fan. Not Jono. He criticizes you guys. He talks bad about you guys when you play bad, but not me. I'm a real Saints fan. I get that every week in my mentions. You're a fake Saints fan, Jono. You're not a real diehard Saints fan. Hey, Mickey Loomis. Hey, Gail Benson. Look at me. Look at me. I'm a real Saints fan, not him. Black and gold, true. Black and gold till I die. I'm what you call the real New Orleans motherfuckers. Well, I am. I'm going to call the team out for whatever they give me. And they gave me a good product on Sunday. So I'm going to give them a good review on my show this week. And hopefully now they can continue to keep that momentum up. I'm not going to say we got winnable games coming up because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this is breaking news or not, but I promise you, every team is looking at the New Orleans Saints as their easy game. We cannot, as Saints fans, I am sorry, Saints fans, you cannot look at the schedule and say, oh, we got the Giants. That's a winnable or easy game. No, we're the 2025 New Orleans Saints. Unless you think Drew Brees and Sean Payton are walking through that door this weekend, we cannot look at the Giants and say, oh, that's a winnable game. Is it more winnable than the Bills and the Seahawks? Absolutely, but there's a reason why we are probably going. Well, actually, last I checked, Vegas actually made us the favorites now after the Malik Neighbors injury. But either way, I'm not going to walk around shocked Sunday night if the Giants beat the Saints because the Saints are arguably still, at this point, the worst team in the league from a talent standpoint, sadly. We just don't have enough dogs. We don't have enough depth. We have some not great. We have very good players, but we just don't have enough to maintain with a lot of these teams. Where the Giants are probably in the same boat, but they might be looking at us, and I'm pretty sure they are. And their fans are saying, hey, Jackson Dart can build off of his first rookie start and beat the New Orleans Saints. So I'm not going to look at any team. I'm not going to look at the Patriots in a few weeks and say, oh, that's a winnable. No, with the New Orleans Saints. But if I could get the performance that I saw this past Sunday, if I get the performance that I saw in week 1 and week 2. Now, week 1 and week 2, it was against the Arizona Cardinals, who I'm still iffy on if they're a good team or not. And I said a mash unit, but injured 49ers team. All right. That was impressive, but it was like, okay, we know what those two teams are. But if I get the performance that I got against the Buffalo Bills this past Sunday, a healthy Buffalo Bills that for all intents and purposes should be playing deep into January in 2026, then I would be a very, very satisfied customer. I'm not focused necessarily on the wins and loss column. I wouldn't mind some wins, but I'm not going to sweat the losses knowing that a good draft pick can come out of it. But if I see good performances, and to Brute Saints' credit, like as he said, if I see development, if I see Calvin Banks continuing to play well, if I see Jonas Senka, who I am extremely high on after these past 2 weeks, continue to be a playmaker. Jonas Senka went up against the NFL MVP and Josh Allen. Josh Allen targeted Jonas Senka, which of course is what Josh Allen is going to do, right? As a rookie safety, I'm the NFL MVP. Of course, I'm going to pick on a safety. And what did that rookie safety do? That rookie safety got an interception, multiple pass breakups, and a lot of tackles. He missed a lot of tackles too. He's a rookie. I'm not saying he's the next reincarnated, but he shows so much potential that for the first time this Sunday, I was like, wow, we got us one. Now, that's still a long way to go. We got to see what else Jonas Senka can do as his rookie season builds out. But I watched that game saying, yo, Jonas Senka is a dog. We might actually have us one to finally have a true building block player to go forward into 2026 and 2027, 2028 and beyond. So that was what excited me. Never mind the wins and losses. I'll take losses if I see Jonas Senka getting 6 or 7 interceptions this season because I'm like, good Lord have mercy. If he's a playmaker now, wait till he learns the game more. Wait till he becomes a grizzled vet when the Saints are probably, hopefully, ready to contend by that point. That's what excites me, the development of the team and the players. Now, of course, though, the main development, and it all comes down to is who the hell is going to be our quarterback when we hopefully are going to be contenders again? Because one great thing about Spencer Rattler, and I tweeted this past Sunday, I say, Rattler is great in that if you are a Spencer Rattler believer, you leave every Sunday saying, that's why Spencer Rattler is our guy. That's why he's the future of this franchise. But if you are not a Spencer Rattler believer, he does just enough for you to go, this is why Spencer Rattler is not the future of our franchise. This is why Spencer Rattler is not our future franchise quarterback. Spencer Rattler, I maintain, is a solid quarterback with potential, of course, to maybe one day become a good quarterback. I've said it before. I think his floor now, which is a compliment, I think his floor is that he is going to be an NFL backup quarterback as his floor. Not to say his ceiling. His ceiling is to be determined. His floor is that he can be an NFL backup quarterback for years to come, which for a 5th-round draft pick is really, really good because he's going to make a lot of money. Either way now, he's going to make a lot of money in his lifetime because he's shown that he can play competent and solid football. Now, for whatever reason, you would think that I'm like the biggest Spencer Rattler hater. So some people on Twitter who come at me every week as if I'd be saying Spencer Rattler and his mama need to go down to Dowman Road on New Orleans East and go at 12 a.m. at nighttime and go deep into the woods or something, you know, like as if I have a dislike for Spencer Rattler. No, I'm not going to hail him as the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I'm not going to lie about what he is. He's a solid quarterback. He makes some good plays. He makes some questionable plays. He's very mobile. He escapes the pocket, which is very, very good to have in this day and age as an NFL offense. He's done a lot better this season than he did last season with avoiding sacks and getting that ball out. But his negatives is that he does not take shots down the field. I mean, good Lord have mercy. I don't know when Rashid Shaheed became Michael Thomas because we never see Rashid Shaheed go out alone anymore. If we do, we damn sure don't notice because we haven't had any Rashid Shaheed bombs all year. Last year, by week 2, we had like 8 Rashid Shaheed bombs. We got 0 so far this year. He doesn't seem to take a lot of chances, and he doesn't seem to trust his arm when it comes to letting that thing sling. He is what some might call a check down Charlie. I believe we are averaging a high 5 or a low 6 yards per attempt on our passing attempts. That's not going to get it done long term, folks. You can't make it by in the NFL by only doing 5 or 6 yards per attempt. You know, maybe if you have a really good team like the 2019 Saints, you could have someone like a Teddy Bridgewater who did just kind of dink and dunk his way to success, and it works out for a few games. But then you saw when Teddy Bridgewater was named starting quarterback the next year for the Carolina Panthers, it doesn't work long term. That approach doesn't work long term, and you got to have like a really, really good team to make it work. Like if Spencer Rattler goes to the Bills, he probably can keep them afloat for a month or so while Josh Allen rehabs from whatever injury, right? That's a compliment to Spencer Rattler, that he has that pathway in his future that at worst, like I said, he is going to be a very good backup quarterback in this league. But he unfortunately misses way too many throws that makes you go, this guy just isn't it. Look at Brandon Cooks, y'all. Look at the degree of separation between Brandon Cooks and the closest Buffalo Bills player. This should be an easy touchdown for an NFL starting quarterback. And yet, Spencer Rattler threw it behind Brandon Cooks, and we left that drive with only a field goal. If the Saints score a touchdown on that drive, who knows what the momentum might do, and maybe we actually walk out of Buffalo as the victors. But this is not the first time Spencer Rattler has done this, because in that 49ers game, you see Chris Olave with the yellow circle, wide open. No 49ers players anywhere close to him in NFL lingo. Nobody is close to Spencer Rattler wearing white and gold. And yet, Spencer Rattler throws it behind him. We come away with no touchdown on that drive. If you are going to be a franchise quarterback, you have to, folks. You have to make these throws. I don't care what else you do. I don't care how much rushing yards you get. I don't care how much of a warrior you are. I don't care how much the team likes you. If you are not able to make these throws, the team is going to look for a better player at quarterback. That may not be fair to all the Spencer Rattler cult members, but it's the truth. This should have been a touchdown. This should have been a touchdown. If he throws these touchdowns, maybe he finally has a win in his win-loss column, but instead he is now 0-10 as a quarterback. He has to make these throws. That's not me being a hater. To any Spencer Rattler stands out there, that's me just being an analyst or just a fan, a real fan. He has to make these. Look at this. You have to make that throw as a starting quarterback. And maybe some fans are patient and saying, hey, let's give it time. Maybe he'll get his accuracy improved. My argument is, okay, that's fine, but I'm not the one who took Titus Shook with a top 40 pick. Our head coach did. So it's inevitable that at some point, if Spencer Rattler continues to not make these throws, Kellen Moore is going to eventually have his reason to say, okay, I think Titus Shook is now ready to be thrust into the starting position. Because this is inevitable. Spencer Rattler, for as solid as he has played, has still not done enough to make it where that Titus Shook's shadow is not looming over him. It continues to loom large. You got to make these throws to make it where you're undeniable. That's what I said in the beginning of the season. I say, Spencer Rattler, make yourself undeniable. He's played fine, but he has not made himself undeniable. I like cheering for him. I think he's a very fun player to root for. I love his moxie. I love that he is like almost damn near a perfect embodiment of a New Orleans Saints player, right? Like he represents the city well. You know, we're not a flashy city. We're not superstar driven city. We like our players the way we like our city, you know, getting out the mud. I like that he's getting out the mud. I like that he's creating something for himself as an NFL player in his career. The same way like Drew Brees. Drew Brees, when we signed him, wasn't like a super duper star. He was coming off a torn shoulder and he had to get himself out the mud. And that's kind of what makes us appreciate someone like that more than maybe a Peyton Manning who had, you know, the pedigree and all the shine coming out of the draft. You know, we like our players sometimes that just have that grit and grind to them. So I like cheering for Spencer Rattler. But I'm not the one who drafted Titus Shook top 40. I mean, I watch Spencer Rattler some Sundays and I'm kind of upset and annoyed that we drafted Titus Shook because I'm like, you know, I wouldn't have minded taking a skill player with the top 40 pick and just letting Spencer Rattler ride it out all season. But I'm not the one in the draft who are making those decisions. Kellen Moore was. And him and the draft scout teams and Mickey Loomis took Titus Shook. So until Spencer Rattler turns chicken shit into chicken salad, the Titus Shook shadow looms. But Rattler, because it's a very polarizing topic, he's not the reason we're losing. I'm not saying he's the reason we're losing. But he's 0-10 as a starter. And he's not making those flash plays that you got to make if you want to be that big-time franchise quarterback. And the Saints, they drafted Titus Shook 40, so somebody in that building believes that Titus Shook could be that flash quarterback. So Spencer Rattler, you got to do better in that regard, because if not, and if those losses keep pounding up, it's inevitable. Another player who's really struggling, though, speaking of, is Chris Olave. Because Chris Olave had arguably his worst game this past Sunday. Never mind the interception on that trick play. I mean, he's dropping passes. It seems like he has the yips. The guy's in a contract year. You would think that he would be going ham this year. Like, I got to prove that I'm worth $80, $90 million contract. And he has been very, very, very pedestrian. Pedestrian might be a compliment at this point to him. Yes, he had a touchdown, finally. But I don't think anybody, including Chris Olave, would tell you that he's playing good this year. And it's been an age-old debate for about 2 seasons now. And people would have nailed you to a cross if you would have came on here and said Chris Olave is not a number 1 receiver. Hell, I had my good friend, TJ Jones. He came on my show and said Chris Olave is not a good number 1 wide receiver. When I posted that clip on Twitter, man, they were going ham on TJ this offseason. TJ's a clown. TJ's stupid. What you mean Chris Olave isn't a number 1 wide receiver? You recency bias guys are just silly. Of course, Chris Olave is a number 1 wide receiver. I dare anybody to look with a straight face on September 30th, 2025 and say right now, Chris Olave is a number 1 wide receiver, because y'all know damn well he's not. I'm not saying he can't be a number 1 wide receiver. I'm not saying that he's not worthy of us still continuing to invest in, but damn sure not for a big-ass contract. Damn sure not for a big-ass contract unless he gets his shit together. I'm very, very disappointed in Chris Olave. Chris Olave honestly should be like the number 1 player for all of us to have our hope in, like saying that, hey, we're going to be good again. And when we good, y'all better watch out because we got Chris Olave on our team. God damn it. I don't think anybody can say that right now. So I am very, very disappointed with Chris Olave and his struggles this year. But hopefully that goddamn touchdown wakes him up a little bit, right? Gets him out that funk. And maybe going forward, we can get the Chris Olave that we all thought that we were getting when we drafted him a few years ago. Another player that's really struggling and is now going to be out for possibly a month is Cesar Ruiz. And he might be right now, I don't want to say the most hated, but he's definitely the most criticized Saint. Let's say that right now. Given his contract, given that he was also a first-round pick, and Lord knows our Saints fans are tired of investing in a first round and offensive lineman and defensive lineman and not getting our return on investment, Ruiz has been struggling mightily. And now, unfortunately, he's out for a few weeks. And his backup came in, Simpkins, and you can argue that he played much better than Ruiz has played all season so far. So if we could get, not forget what Simpkins was drafted in, but he definitely wasn't a first-round draft pick. If a late-round guy can come in and play offensive line better than you, and you're a first-round, I believe a $40, $50 million contract player, what are we doing, Cesar Ruiz? What are we doing? I don't want to pout on the guy because I know he's probably feeling like crap right now. He's injured. I pray that he has a speedy recovery, that he can come back and hopefully show his worth. He's been also very, very disappointing this season for a guy who should be one of our stalwart players for the next 5 to 6 years. But it is not all bad because, like my guy Brute said, Miami got some young players that finally showed out this past Sunday. Calvin Banks, who's been pretty good all season long, especially for a rookie tackle, right? Like, he's giving up some pressures. He gave up the sack to cause the fumble against the Bills to end the game. He's going to have his moments, right? He's not perfect. He's not, a grizzled vet yet. But for a rookie, I am extremely impressed with Calvin Banks. And the best thing you can always say about our offensive lineman is that we rarely talk about Calvin Banks. Why? That means he must be doing his damn job. Like, we're talking about Cesar Ruiz a lot because he's not doing his job. We're not talking about Eric McCoy, this year more than a game Mount Rushmore recipient, because we know Eric McCoy is bringing it every single week. You ain't got to talk about Eric McCoy. He's doing the dirty work. We ain't talking about Calvin Banks much. Why? Because he's doing the dirty work. So I'm really impressed with Calvin Banks. Jonas Sanker, like I said earlier, that's a kid who flashed off the screen. And that's what I want more of, like these young players who just flash off the screen with his pass breakups and his tackles. He has some struggles still, but he's a rookie. I'm not going to act like he's supposed to be Ed Reed right away. And picking off Josh Reed, your first interception against the reigning NFL MVP, that's how you make a statement. That's how you make Saints fans notice. That's how you make even a casual fan learn your name. And then we'll see Jonas Sanker jerseys in the Superdome crowd in a year or two if you keep playing like that. That is what I was excited about. And Quincy Riley playing much better than Isaac Yiadom. And I told y'all last week, I'm going to learn a lot about this franchise if we continue to play Isaac Yiadom. Nothing against Isaac Yiadom, but the Saints have a potential 4th-round pick in the 2026 NFL draft that they can get because we lost Paulson Adebo to free agency. But we will lose that 4th-round pick if we play Isaac Yiadom over 30% of the snaps this season. Well, we're 0-4. Isaac Yiadom isn't necessarily lighting the world on fire. You got this kid, Quincy Riley, who comes in every week and flashes. Why in the hell would we even be playing Isaac Yiadom at this point, right? Why would we be risking a 4th-round draft pick when Lord knows at this point of our franchise, we can use every draft pick we can get when we got a better, I say better loosely, it's still early, but a flashier, more potential young player in Quincy Riley instead of a guy like Isaac Yiadom who probably isn't going to be our future when we finally are a good team. So it's going to say a lot about this franchise and how we operate. And do we see the forest from the trees finally if we hopefully stop playing Isaac Yiadom as much and play Quincy Riley more? It seems like they've been kind of slowly easing Quincy Riley into Isaac Yiadom's spot, which, hey, if that was the plan all along, I would give them credit at the end of the season. But I do not want to come on the show in December and say, well, y'all, we didn't get our 4th-round draft pick because we played Isaac Yiadom over 30% of the snaps when we see how good Quincy Riley is playing right now whenever he gets on the field. So that excites me, though, overall, though. To have Banks, to have Sanker, and to have Riley flash like that, that gives me some goddamn optimism about the future of our franchise. We also have another super chat. This is from my guy, Kamar, even though his screen name is Brethren1234. Unfortunately, guys, he is a Falcons fan, so I'm not going to give him this shit more than a game air horns. But he says, who that, blew that, rise up, Atlanta. Oh, y'all. Yeah. Did I not call this, y'all? Give me 1 second. I clear my throat for this. Did I not call this? Did I not say last week the Falcons were going to win this week against the Commanders without Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin? Wow, what an impressive victory. They were going to come back in the show and talk their shit because they never learn. They never learn, which is fine, though. It's absolutely fine. Y'all know why? Because we know that the Falcons are going Falcon. So in typical Atlanta Falcons fashion, y'all, let them enjoy their trash talk on the Saints. Let them enjoy their victories over J.J. McCarthy with a sprain ain't going, the Commanders without Jaden Daniels, because we all know it just sets them up for another heartbreak when the Falcons eventually Falcon. And I got a text message from Kamar that I'll show later on in the voicemail segment. But hey, you want to send me $10 to say blew that, be my guest, Kamar. But just know that $10 ain't going to save you when the Falcons Falcon this upcoming season. And finally, y'all, some good news. Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau returning to practice this week. Now, does that mean they're going to play this Sunday? Probably not. They probably still need about 3 to 4 weeks of ramp-up time before they can come in and actually be significant contributors to the team. But it's always a good thing, especially to get Taysom Hill back, right? That man is a cyborg. Like, when he got hurt in November against the Rams last year, I was like, yo, that might be a career ender for Taysom Hill. Like, ain't no way he's coming back in 2025 at least, but Taysom Hill always surprises us, right? And if there's anybody who can say, I'm going to take my sweet time in coming back because I'm old and I only have so many NFL plays left in me, and I damn sure ain't going to use it on a team that's 0-4, it would be Taysom Hill. But he is coming back to practice this week along with Foster Moreau, and that can probably give us a good energy and morale boost going into November and December to close out the season when hopefully the Saints, finish strong. I don't want to lose our top draft pick, but I do want to, maybe win a game or two. Hopefully, these other sad teams start winning some games so we can have some breathing room when it comes to a top 3 pick so we can build and carry some momentum going into 2026. But I love me some Taysom Hill, man, and I'm excited to see, hopefully, if he does come back to full strength, because it's not a guarantee that he's going to be the same Taysom Hill when he does come back, given how severe that injury was last November and given how much wear and tear he has on his body as is. But I would love to see how he looks in Kellen Moore's offense, and maybe we can actually do a goddamn successful tush push with Taysom Hill as our quarterback. It's a good thing to have, and I'm excited to have Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau get back to practice and, of course, representing the city of New Orleans, Louisiana. So, hey, y'all, what do you know? The Saints play well, and I'm going to be well to them on my show. I thought it was a pretty good game Sunday, and I am much more feeling better. Say that out loud. I am feeling much better about the state of the team after the Bills game than I was after the Seahawks game. A long season ago, if they play like crap against the Giants, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to rant about them. They win against the Giants, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to give them their flowers. It's a competitive game. I'm going to come on here even keeled and level-headed like I feel like I've been mostly all season. But it's not a wild concept to everybody who always comes at me on Twitter and social media. The team plays well, I treat them well. They play like shit, I treat them like shit. Let me get to some of these comments and see how you guys feel. I've been rambling for about 30 minutes now, so let me see. Bruce Saint also said Olave was the second worst player according to PFF. Unacceptable. Now, I don't treat PFF grades as gospel. I always say PFF is like the perfect website for, confirming your bias. Like if you have a player that you like or don't like, you can always use PFF as your source to say, I told you they were bad, or I told you they were playing good. But when they have a questionable pass performance grade, you're like, huh? But I don't need a PFF grade, Bruce, Saint, to see that Olave is playing pretty bad right now. Let's see. I see a lot of you guys talking shit to the Falcons fans, which I appreciate. Young Hitter says Shedeur was right there, but no, we got lame ass shit. I'm assuming he's talking about Titus Shook, maybe. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with Shedeur's future. I remember, this because people are also going to go back to my rant when we drafted Titus Shook, and my main point was, we could have had Shedeur. We could have had Shedeur. So people are probably going to think that I'm a Shedeur Sanders stan or advocate. Not necessarily. I do think he could be a fine quarterback, but my point in that rant when we drafted Titus Shook was you couldn't tell me that Shook was a better prospect than Shedeur Sanders. I might end up being wrong. I kind of cheer that I am wrong because Titus Shook's my quarterback now. So I hope that he does end up being better than Shedeur Sanders. But yeah, in April, I was like, well, if we are going to draft a quarterback, draft Shedeur. Don't draft Titus Shook, but time will tell with that. And that's going to be probably the most damning or the most solidifying thing on Kellen Moore's resume depending on how Tyler Shuck's future turns out. Let's get to some more questions. Devin says that Mickey Loomis took Shuck. So if that's true, Devin, if it was a Mickey Loomis call, I would have hoped that Kellen Moore, as the head coach, would say, hold on, I'm the head coach. I'm the one coaching this guy. So I would like to think, and let me in my silly fan brain think, that Kellen Moore wanted him too. Because if it was just strictly Mickey Loomis putting his foot down and saying, no, I'm taking this guy with our top 40 pick, then that's not a good thing for Kellen Moore, if you ask me. Falcons fans are talking their trash, but it's okay, y'all, because the Falcons are going Falcons soon. Hurricane Mikey says, if Spencer was more accurate, he could be a franchise guy. Yeah, and if I was 6'5", I could be in the NBA, Mikey. If ands were butts, you know what the rest of that's saying. And let me get to a few more comments. Slim South says, the way it looks, Chase Young could possibly wind up on IR. Well, hopefully he's back some point in October. I mean, that's always been a thing with Chase Young, right? Like, I don't think anybody should be surprised. He's always been injury prone in his young NFL career. So I'm not even shocked that he, missed the first month, even though when he got injured, he said that it wasn't going to be long-term. Well, technically, it depends on what your definition of long-term is. But when you miss the first month of the season, obviously, after signing the big contract, a lot of fans aren't happy with that. But this has always been who Chase Young is. So I'm not too bothered by it. If we were like a contending team, I'd be like, come on, dude, get your ass on the field. We need you. We're trying to go to a goddamn Super Bowl. In a rebuild year, I'm kind of like, whatever about it. But I understand why fans are frustrated with it. I really, really do. Humane Vate says, if you can't handle us at our 0-4, you damn sure can't handle us at our 17-4. Okay, well, I don't know how we can ever go 17-4 unless you're talking about hopefully 3 or 4 playoff wins after a 13-4 season. But absolutely, Humane. I joked. I said, hey man, if you didn't let the Saints at our 16-point underdogs, don't let the Saints at our 12-point loss to the Buffalo Bills. There's levels to this, goddammit. There's levels to this. I'm glad I see this. Locked On Pelicans. My guy, he's talking about the title of my show. But Jake Madison, Jake, I know you might not be on the show. I know you're a busy man, and the Pelicans are in Australia right now, so you got a lot of stuff to talk about. And by the way, y'all, we are going, because we're at the Super Chat, I am going to do a bonus segment tonight about the Pelicans. And if you did not see what Brandon Ingram said about the city of New Orleans and our fans, you definitely want to stay tuned later in the show, because Brandon Ingram rattled some cages. What he said about the New Orleans Pelicans fans this past Monday. You definitely don't want to miss my thoughts on that. And definitely, if you're not subscribed to Jake Madison and Locked On Pelicans, subscribe to him, because he did a great analysis about Brandon Ingram's comments. And that's why Jake is just so damn good at what he does. And I appreciate Jake for stopping by in his very busy schedule just to show some love in the chat. Pelican season is coming back, y'all. And as jilted of a Pelicans fan as I am still excited, man. Just like I was excited about the Saints this season, knowing that we were going to be shit. I am excited about the Pelicans, and I actually think that there is a world with the Pelicans. I know y'all going to say, Johnny, you say this every year. I do think there's a world where the Pelicans can be a good team this year. Am I predicting that? I don't know. But I am very much excited about the Pelicans season starting in a few weeks, and I'm very honored to have my friend, but the damn good Pelicans analyst, and Jake Madison in the chat tonight. Y'all check out Locked On Pelicans and stay tuned later in the show for my thoughts on Brandon Ingram's very controversial comments about the New Orleans Pelicans fans. I'm sure you Falcons fans are going to want to hear about this too, because I actually wouldn't mind some non-biased answers to what Brandon Ingram said about the Pelicans fans. And finally, I'm going to leave it with this. Plexi Zero says the Falcons had a bad week, but went 23-20 with the Bucks, 22-6 with the Vikings, and 34-27 with the Commanders. Well, Plexi, that's a good point, because they're essentially reinforcing what I've been saying all off season and off season so far. I'm not saying the Falcons are a bad team. Far from it. I've said it many times. The Falcons are the 2023 New Orleans Saints. They're going to be an 8-9 win team. They might make the playoffs. We'll see. But they might not. But they are in that state of purgatory where they're definitely not going to be a Super Bowl contending team. And they're not going to get a top draft pick. Lord knows they don't even have a top draft pick, because they traded their first round pick for defensive end. But all that to say, the Falcons, in my opinion, are in no man's land. And that makes me feel happy, because, hey, when you're in no man's land, yeah, y'all go do what y'all got to do. I'm happy that the Saints are actually rebuilding, because at least there's a possible light at the end of that tunnel. It's kind of hard to see right now, but hey, maybe that light comes eventually and we are a Super Bowl contender again. I know one thing, The Falcons damn sure ain't. Now, damn sure ain't going to crown them because they beat the Commanders without Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin and beat the Vikings with a rookie hobbled J.J. McCarthy. Let's get to this video about how I felt after the Bills game, and then we'll preview the upcoming week against the New York Giants.
Allen, wide open, Kincaid, touchdown.
No, well, it was a good fight.
Yeah, this is a little shocking. I'm surprised that you remained so calm.
I mean, we're 0-3, not 3-0. We kind of expected that. At least we fought, though, right?
Wow, I appreciate this. This is a new leaf.
You're damn right it's a new leaf. A new leaf, and we should have won a goddamn game. I mean, he had Brandon Cooks wide open. You can't make a goddamn wide open throw to Brandon Cooks. And how you give up that easy-ass touchdown? How you fight the whole game and then finally let them win, man? We had this game won. What the hell was that trick play with that double reverse? It's not Philadelphia. This is New Orleans. We should do no damn Philly special. We should have won that game. We should have won that game.
Are you crying?
No, man. I told you it's fall.
You're crying?
The allergies got my... No.
You're crying.
No, I'm not. But you know the shit more than the game. We should have won that game, man.
You need a tissue?
It's fall. The weather's changing my allergies. I need to go outside,
You need
man.
tissue?
We should have won that game.
What do you mean outside?
Come damn.
They cut the grass.
No, what? 5-yard line.
Jono.
Come on, man. We ain't gonna never win another game again.
Jono, the neighbors are gonna be looking
We
weird.
ain't gonna never win another game again.
Your dad's crazy.
She still doesn't understand, y'all. I thought that having Lil Jono will make her understand more. You know, she gave birth to the first ever this shit more than a game certified baby, but she still just doesn't understand. Maybe one day she will. How y'all felt about that goddamn Philly special, y'all? Here was my take on it. I did not mind it. I did not mind the trick double reverse play where Chris Olave threw the pass that got intercepted. Here's why. One, I'm not going to be one saying, Dennis Allen, you're a boring head coach. You never take chances and then get mad when Kellen Moore comes in and takes chances. Two, we are 0-3, now 0-4 at that time. We are 0-3, though, at that time. Take your chances. What do we have to lose besides the game? What do we have to lose? We're playing the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Take your chances. And three, it's more on Olave, if you ask me. I hate to keep sounding like I'm talking to Olave, but I would imagine a play call like that, you got to trust your players. And I'm sure they told Olave, hey, if the play isn't there, either run it or just go down. You do not have to throw the pass just because we called the play. That should be football 101. Just because we call a trick play does not mean you have to execute the trick or force the trick play. If you do not think Ryder has a clear path to the end zone, do not force that pass. But I'm assuming Olave saw 2-3 Buffalo Bills coming at him full speed. He said, hell with that. I'm going to throw this ball. It didn't work out. And now people are saying, Kellen Moore, what a dumbass play. We could have just ran the ball. Everything was working fine. Here's my counter argument to that. Because look, Mikey even says right here. Mikey says, and I'm glad you said this, Mikey. I want to counter this. Mikey says, Moore was a dumbass for calling that. Well, Mikey, tell me this. Was Sean Payton a dumbass for calling that onside kick in the Super Bowl? Because I guarantee you, Mikey, if the Indianapolis coach recovered that from onside kick, everybody's saying, what a dumbass Sean Payton was. We didn't need to do an onside kick at that point of the game. We had all the momentum in the world. Why are we calling the onside kick in the goddamn Super Bowl? But it worked. So what are we saying? Sean Payton, what a genius. Hot man is the perfect coach for New Orleans. That's why this shit more than the game. We doing goddamn onside kicks, baby. The New Orleans Saints. When it works, you're a genius. When it doesn't work, what a dumbass. So I don't subscribe to that, he's a dumbass or what a dumb play call. Because if it would have worked, everybody would have been bucked up. That's our coach. He's dropping his nuts on the Buffalo Bills. Hell yeah, we running reverses in the goddamn red zone. What a New Orleans Saints. Go ahead, Kellen Moore. I not to you, Mikey, specifically. I just don't like that. Like, I don't like that fans always use hindsight when it comes to trick plays. Because if it works, it's the greatest goddamn thing in the world. When Sean Payton called trick plays that worked, we loved it. We love you, Sean Payton. You're the best. You're the best head coach. You're the most creative head coach in the NFL. When it doesn't work, when Sean Payton calls a reverse against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2007, that Reggie Bush fumbles and the Buccaneers win that game. What a dumbass you are, Sean Payton. Why would you call that play? We don't need that play at that time. When do you need a trick play, y'all? Answer me that. When is the perfect time for a trick play? Because a part of a trick play is that you got to catch them off guard, right? So, hell, maybe let's do a trick play in our red zone. We were trying to catch them off guard. It didn't work out. Olave didn't need to throw that pass, but he threw the pass. I didn't mind the play call. It didn't work out, but hell, at least showed me that Kellen Moore has some goddamn nuts to him. It lets me know that in the future, Kellen Moore ain't going to be afraid. He ain't going to be caught in some conservative-ass play calls. So I challenge any fan who says, with a dumbass play call or whatever, because I guarantee you, if that play would have worked, all of y'all would have been on Kellen Moore's nuts. All of y'all would have been saying how great Kellen Moore is. But it didn't work. So everybody can come on a soapbox and say, horrible play call. We should have just ran the ball. We should have just ran the ball. Okay. Let me know what y'all think. Mikey, just because I challenge it doesn't mean, come back at me. Do you think that I'm being a dumbass and saying, no, hell with that? That's the Buffalo Bills. We got to play smart against them, not doing no goddamn trick plays. Stick with your guns. Devin, that dude says, I like to gamble with the footy special. By the way, somebody said on my guy, Hold the Mayo show that it was the Gentili special. And that just made me crack up. I think we got a special phone call, by the way, from y'all know who also made that joke. I think that joke is becoming a running meme. You'll get to that in the voicemails later on. He says the defense made a great play. Simple as that. Yes, the safety for the Buffalo Bills made a great play on that. But I also maintain Olave should have just went down. Like, Olave, you don't have to throw the ball just because we call it the play. Like, use your high IQ. Jay Saunders says he short-armed the ball. It was the yips. I don't know if it was the yips, but he definitely short-armed the pass. But to Olave's credit, he's not a quarterback. Sonia says, good point, Jono. I always have good points, Sonia, but I do love you, Sonia. Bruce Saint says, being aggressive is high risk, high reward, and that's why I wanted Kellen Moore, an innovative offensive mind who can stretch the playbook to his will. Me and you, Brute, we're on the same page tonight. I like when me and Brute are on the same page. It makes me feel smarter. I very much agree. Juddy Bear and the Falcons fans are talking about Bounty Gate still. Good Lord, get over it, Juddy. Maybe y'all Falcons fans need to implement a bounty program if y'all so damn sensitive about it, because maybe y'all could actually get an actual Super Bowl champions banner in y'all stadium. Jay Saunders also says the best time for a trick play is when it works. Exactly. Jay Saunders, when it works, everybody loves it. Oh, man, what a genius play call that was. When it doesn't, how would you dare call that play call? Hurricane Mikey comes back and says, when you are at the goal line, just do something simple. And I understand that, Mikey, and that's a very valid point. That's a very valid argument. But, again, for me, I practice what I preach. I say it all the time. I want an aggressive head coach. I want a fun head coach. I want a head coach that represents New Orleans. I say I don't want a boring-ass Dennis Allen head coach or a boring-ass Pete Carmichael offensive coordinator that we all know where the play calls are coming. So I didn't mind the play call. It didn't work out. Was it questionable? Yes. But you know what? Honestly, every play call, when you do a trick play, is a questionable play call. That Sean Payne onside kick in the Super Bowl, probably the most questionable decision of all time. It worked out, so it's a genius move. It goes down in history as one of the greatest calls in NFL history. Had it not worked out, had the coach recovered and Peyton Manning has a short field and goes down the field, scores a touchdown, now the Saints lose all the momentum and we lose the Super Bowl, he's going down in infamy. Sean Payne is just one of the worst head coaches of all time. When it works, you're a genius. When it doesn't work, oh, how horrible of a play call that was. But I like y'all's opinion about that. And if you come to the show afterwards tonight and watch the replay, let me know in the comments. Did you like the Philly, or should we say the Gentili special, or did you hate it? Hopefully we don't have to run that play against the New York Giants, because that is our next opponent. And the New York Giants aren't the Buffalo Bills. We all know that. So it is a game that at home in New Orleans, where Vegas actually has us favored now by 1 point, and Jackson Dart no longer has his number one wide receiver. Our prayers go out to Malik Neighbors, who tore his ACL. You can say, hey, there is an argument that the New Orleans Saints are going to finally get their first win this upcoming Sunday. And I actually agree. I am going to predict and pick the New Orleans Saints to beat the New York Giants this Sunday, because I do think that we have equal amount of talent as them, and we are at home. And I just don't. I hope. I'm not going to be surprised if I'm wrong, but I just do not think that the Giants wide receivers without Malik Neighbors is going to do damage to us. I could be wrong. We might be in the middle of witnessing a great rookie run from Jackson Dart. He looked pretty impressive on Sunday. Kid's got a lot of swag to him for a white boy. He entertained me on Sunday. Sometimes when you put that rookie in, it just amps up the team a little bit. The team has a little bit more juice. I mean, we lost to Daniel Jones and the Giants in the Superdome, so I'm not going to be shocked if we lose to Jackson Dart. But I do think that after the performance we had against the Bills, the team feels good about themselves. We're going to carry that momentum. I know it sounds weird. We lost by 12 points, and I'm talking about momentum, but I do think we carry that momentum when we get our first win this next Sunday. If we lose, I'm not going to be shocked as long as it's competitive. Now, we get our asses whooped and Jackson Dart comes down and throws like 4 touchdowns, and we never stand a chance against them. I'm going to call out the team for taking a huge step back. I don't want to do this 1 step forward, 2 steps back BS. I want to continue to see development and progress. I think we get that this Sunday against the New York Giants. But let me know in the comments, do y'all think that we have a shot against the New York Giants this upcoming Sunday? One entity that thinks that we have no shot is CNN, because I don't know if y'all saw this, and this is not fake. This is not Jono being a humorous. CNN is taking shots at the New Orleans Saints. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Sometimes people like watch sports to escape politics. Right now, the Saints are 0-4. I'm going to the hellscape that is politics to escape the New Orleans Saints. And yet I still can't, because even CNN is taking shots at the New Orleans Saints.
Trying to direct traffic, takes a shot, throws, picked up.
Oh, enough, man. Damn, I get it. The Saints are bad. Shoot.
Oh, you're putting it on CNN?
Man, anything to get my mind off the New Orleans Saints, okay? I'd rather watch this political hellscape that we are in than to hear about the New Orleans Saints.
What are we seeing? Donald Trump being underwater, Democrats, and all this guarantees us we're going to fly high in the midterms. Let me tell you, this guarantees you nothing, because at this particular point, the Democrats are the New Orleans Saints of political parties. What are we talking about?
Oh, you gotta be. You gotta be. That's it. Come on, babe. Let's go.
What do you mean? What?
What you mean?
What are you talking about?
We're going to Canada. We're getting out this stupid country. We can't even watch CNN without them talking about our team.
Johnny, we just bought this house.
All the things going on in the world, they talking about the New Orleans Saints. We're going to Canada. Oh, Mexico. It don't matter. Just get out of the job and let's go. This is too stupid, man. This is too stupid.
Can y'all believe that? Like CNN, the Falcons were right there. I mean, I know the Saints are down bad right now, and I know that after we got our ass whipped by the Seahawks, we were the easy team to pick on. But goddamn, goddamn CNN, the Falcons were right there. Call the Democrats the Falcons of the political parties. I'm a Democrat myself. I mean, I know right now it ain't the most positive time to be a Democrat, but the New Orleans Saints of the political parties, damn, how the mighty have fallen, huh? Priest and Terry for this, man. We're gonna get it out there one day. We're going to get our lick back. Boy, I know I said that for like the past 3 years. The Saints and the city of New Orleans is going to get our lick back. I can't wait. Boy, I tell y'all, when the Saints are good again, oh, this is going to be a fun show when the Saints are good again. And this channel and my content is going to be so much more fun when the Saints are good again. May not happen anytime soon, but when we get good again, everything. Seeing it. Remember that. Jonah Barnes, I ain't Jesus. I don't forgive. And I damn sure don't forget. Because we got our super chat goal, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna do a bonus segment tonight, and we are going to talk about those New Orleans Pelicans. And before all of you Saints fans flick the channel off, because I know not all Saints fans are passionate New Orleans Pelicans fans, even though you should be very blessed that the city of New Orleans has 2 pro franchises, given how small and how economically challenged of a city we are sometimes. But don't flick it off yet, because this is something that might interest even Saints fans, because we all know if you are a New Orleans sports fan or just a New Orleanian or a Louisianian, you are very passionate about your city and your state and your way of life. And Brandon Ingram, and I don't think he did this purposely, but he inadvertently took a shot at the New Orleans Pelicans fans and New Orleans sports fans this past Monday. Listen to what Brandon Ingram said when a reporter asked him about his thoughts on his new home in Toronto.
Impressive thing for me is seeing every seat in the arena filled up, every single game, no matter winning or losing, just seeing everybody there. That's definitely different from New Orleans, having every seat filled and everybody showing love, whether we're down or up. That was very consistent.
Now, I feel like you can prop up your new city without throwing a dig at the New Orleans. Maybe he did it inadvertently. Maybe sometimes even you talking in public, you say something aloud that you go back on and you say, damn it, why did I say that? But hell, I guess it's intrusive thoughts one, right? And he was basically saying, hey, New Orleans didn't show up to the Pelicans games the way I've seen Toronto Raptors fans show up to their games. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Pelicans do not have the strongest fan base. The city of New Orleans, we say we are a basketball town, but put a gun to my head, we're probably not. We have a lot of casuals. We have a very niche, passionate fan base like me, but it's not enough. And so there was a lot of times where that Smoothie King Center is not packed. And there are a lot of empty seats. But that's not all the fault of New Orleans sports fans. Because BI, why would I pay my hard-earned money, pay $20, and I'm being very generous by saying $20, pay $20 to park, to walk half a mile to the Smoothie King Center, to deal with traffic, to sit in my seat, to pay $40 for a hot dog, chips, and drinks, and watch you watch the game. Because Brandon Ingram, you missed as many games as you played while you was in the city of New Orleans. So why would I go out my way to go to the Smoothie King Center if I'm a New Orleans sports fan to go watch that when you're not even playing? When our superstar player, Zion Williamson, is constantly missing games after games after games for 6 straight years now. It's not our fault. I can see if the Pelicans were kicking ass, making it to the playoffs every year. Hell yeah, the team would have deserved a packed house every night. But we're not. We are one of the worst franchises in the NBA. And I'm going to call it like I see it. And I'm a former employee of the team. But the data is the data. I'm a fair man when it comes to just being straight up honest. We are one of the worst franchises in the NBA. And until we get our shit together and even just go on a 2-year, because we haven't made the playoffs in back-to-back years since, I believe, 2007. Until we make the playoffs in back-to-back years, I'm going to call the Pelicans what they are. They're one of the worst franchises in the NBA. It is what it is. They don't want me to call them that. Win games. We were not winning a lot of games with you, Brandon Ingram. We had a few moments. We had a few flashes where you played great and we made the play-in and in the playoffs. But you gave the fans no reason to show up. Zion gave the fans no reason to show up. So no, maybe we're not Toronto, who has a much bigger population than the city of New Orleans, by the way. And we're coming out every night to watch our backups play because you and Zion are once again sitting on the bench. But that's not our fault. If you would have lived up to your potential, and if Zion would live up to his potential, I do promise you that the city of New Orleans does show up and show out for a good team. But the Saints, they show up and show out no matter what. Maybe not as much anymore because of how bad we've been the past 4 years. But for the Pelicans, a lot of those casuals do show up when the Pelicans give them something to show up about. And sadly, the Pelicans for the past 2 decades have not given them a consistent reason to show up. So Brandon Ingram, while it may be true that, yes, New Orleans does not show up for Pelicans games, you're part of the problem, buddy. Look in the mirror. You're part of the problem. I'm not paying my hard-earned money to watch you in the suit watching the team play. I want to see you out there playing. You didn't play a lot. So why would I go out my way to go watch our backups play? I'm not mad at Brandon Ingram for making that comment. I thought it was very, very poorly thought out of to say it out loud because now Ingram was a very popular player in New Orleans, even given his injury history. And he probably would have got a standing ovation when he returned to the Smoothie King Center this year when the Raptors played the Pelicans. But now I guarantee you he's going to get booed. He's going all that goodwill, he flushed it down the toilet because he had to make that comment, which was unnecessary. If you want to prop up your new city, like most players do, if you want to say, I love you, Toronto, more power to you. But to take a shot at your old city, a very, very petty city, you reap what you sow, my guy, because when you come to the Smoothie King Center this year, I guarantee you there probably will be some fans in that stadium or in that arena. And I don't think they're going to be as kind to you as they would have been had you just not made those comments. I hope that the Pelicans with Zion Williamson this year get it together so that arena is filled to the T. Because I will say this, y'all know how critical I am of Zion. But even I got to say, when I saw this picture from Media Day, I was like, damn. He does look pretty good, y'all. And I'm not one, I promise you, I'm not one to get hyped up about Zion's offseason photos and, oh, he's in shape, he's in shape. But I will say for the first time, that was a photo that made me go, yo, Zion actually does look like he actually lost a lot of weight. And hopefully he maintains that weight loss and plays the way that we know that Zion Williamson can play. Because if Zion Williamson plays even 80% of his games, I guarantee you one thing, Brandon Ingram, you'll see 80% of that arena filled up. Breaking news, superstar players play for their team, the fans will show out for that team. Zion, yet again, the Oasis is on you. I hope that you prove me wrong with my offseason analysis about your future. And I saw that Zion at Media Day also say, you know, for all the people who are critical or whatever, to stay on that side. Hey, if that works, if the team wants to adapt this us versus them mentality, if the team wants to use the haters or even just the critical analysts who say, this Pelicans team is what they are, if they want to use that as their motivation, more power to them. If it leads them to wins, if it actually gets them to be finally in year 7, Zion, motivated to go out there and show what the hell you are about, more power to you. On the surface, I disagree with it. I'm like, dude, you gave the haters a reason to hate. You gave the people who don't believe in the Pelicans this year a reason to not believe because you've never given anybody a reason to fully believe. But you want to use that as motivation, more power to you because I want to be wrong. Hey, clip my shit from the past offseason about, oh, man, y'all really going to believe in Zion in year 7? What I say, 11 doesn't change the spots overnight. Use my shit to motivate. I don't mind. I don't know one thing for sure, though. I got 13 years as a ball boy, so I'm going to stay on the side of wanting the Pelicans to be goddamn good. I'm not saying that Zion was taking a shot at me or anything like that. I'm just saying, though, like, you know, the team seems to be using the criticisms as fuel, which is great. But the criticisms were very fair, Zion and Trey Murphy and all you guys. Like, there's a reason why people are taking shots at the Pelicans, because y'all have not given them any reason to have faith in them. Y'all have not, the franchise as a whole has not given anybody outside of the most diehard and rabid of Pelicans fans to have a reason to say that's going to be a good team. Now, if y'all want to use that as motivation, the way players use any little thing for motivation, more power to you, because I want to see the goddamn Pelicans be good, especially in the year where the Saints are going to be bad. But don't be shocked when you play poorly or be unavailable for like 7 years now, and then you get poor criticisms about the future of the team or the projection of the team going forward. But he looked really good in this photo, and hopefully he looks really good this season, and I can get back on the Zion train and say, hell yeah, the Pelicans are back. And then we can go to BI whenever the Raptors come down to the Smoothie King Center with a full arena and say, well, look at that, BI. The Pelicans are good, and we show up. And BI, you're going to get booed because you had to show out. Let's hear a word from one of our sponsors, and then we will get to our voicemails. Here's a gift just for you for being a fan. Are you going to a sports game or a concert or any major event? Well, buy your tickets from SeatGeek and use the promo code JONO at checkout, and you can receive $20 off your purchase over $50. That's $20 off your purchase. What are you waiting for? You know this shit more than a game, man. Hey fans, hit the subscribe button in 3 seconds to make this Falcons fan sad. 3, 2, 1. I see we got 26 likes right now. That's at least in this show, y'all, with 30 likes. So let's make a Falcons fan sad. If you're busy in the chat right now, I see y'all debating about Bountygate and all that stuff. Maybe I'll do a dedicated show to Bountygate because it seems like Falcons fans seem real offended by that. That's fine. But to really make a Falcons fan sad, hit that like button right now. And let's get to 30 likes before the end of the show. All right, let us get to our voicemails. In the meantime, after the New Orleans Saints lost to the Buffalo Bills in week 4.
Hi. Can the Saints stop getting moral victories and just get an actual victory? That would be nice. I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking for y'all to win every single game. I'm not asking for y'all to win Super Bowl. All I'm asking for y'all is to at least win a game. Y'all do that? You know, I know we're going to win in week 18. I know we're going to win in week 18. Can I get an actual victory instead of just all these little bitty moral victories? Spencer Rattler looks good. Yeah, you know what would also look good? Wins on the freaking win column. Chris Olave, you need to go. I'm done trying to pretend that this man's a good receiver. This man makes like one catch in every blue moon. This dude needs to go. Cesar Ruiz, you're out. Honestly, it might be a blessing in disguise. I don't wish injuries on nobody, but honestly, it might be a blessing in disguise. We might get Taysom Hill back, so hey, maybe we can score some points. Woo! Man, we still got what, 13 more games of this? This more than a game. Do that. Don't be a Falcons fan.
Well, speaking of Falcons fans, Mikey, sadly, I'm only getting texts at my 504-484-9170 number from Falcons fans. And that one Falcons fan says, what a bounce back win by my Falcons. Doesn't matter who you play. Of course, he's going to say that. A win is a win. Hell, the winners Giants pulled off an incredible upset versus the Los Angeles Chargers. We move on to the bye week, recharge, and prepare for Buffalo. Again, great job on all sides of the ball by Atlanta. I ain't asked for no goddamn Falcons analysis, that one Falcons fan. I'm just glad to see everybody else losing in the division. Rattler, I will give him his flowers. He has potential. Seriously, he can sling it. What games is that one Falcons fan watching? Because I ain't see Spencer sling anything. The Panthers the Panthers overhyped their win against us last week and shit the bed. And then Tampa, I'm glad that they lost. I mean, y'all beat the Commanders without Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. Like, I get it. A win is a win. You can only play who is in front of you. But this is just because that one Falcons fan, y'all, is actually one of the more sane Falcons fans. But just incredible how they win one game and then they think that their shit don't stink, huh? Outcast must have been talking about their own Falcons fans when they made that song. But boy, they like to think they shit don't stink. But Falcons, lay a little closer. Y'all will see. Y'all team really smells like poo, poo, poo. Let's get to our next voicemail.
What's Sam, Jonah? What's Sam? Who that? What's Sam? Jonah, I be seeing you over there getting mad, big dog. You did that. Let that baby be in peace. Don't make making that baby poo-poo on himself because you pissed off over this rebuild season. You knew what this was. I knew what this was, but I do understand. See, Jonah, I'm getting mad. I was getting mad at the penalties and the way we losing games, the bonehead stuff. But the truth of the matter, dog, we don't have enough playmakers on this team. Joanna Man Johnson don't want to play right. I don't know what's up with Chris Olave. I think he's scared. I don't know what. I think he's scared. He's gonna get another concussion. I don't know. Brandon Cooks out there looking like Eddie Kane Jr. on the bench. I don't know, bruh. We just ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still gonna holler who there for life, but we ain't there yet, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so much stuff going on with this team, bro. And it's obvious we in a rebuild. Kellen Moore out there. The first couple of games, Kellen Moore letting these penalties go haywire. I was calling them Kellen Moore, Michael Jackson. I like, look, they getting penalties. It's okay, guys. Penalties are good for everybody. If you don't get a penalty, you don't get back on the bus. Penalties are good for everyone. Everybody gets a penalty. But then the Joe Jackson stepped in on him, like, bro, you get another penalty, I'm gonna beat your ass. That type of shit. So I appreciate that we didn't get. Look, I knew we weren't gonna be Buffalo. The best way we was gonna be Buffalo is eating buffalo wings. That was it. And we wasn't gonna beat no Buffalo. But we 0-4. I'm still gonna holler who that for life, man. But look at it like this, Jono. If you take 0-4 and put it on a piece of paper and put it in the mirror, you will feel better about the record. You will feel better about the record. I'm telling you, put 0-4 on a piece of paper and point it in the mirror. You're gonna feel better, my dog. I'm telling you, I did it. I feel better. So on Sundays I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? But ain't nobody getting no barbecue food. We getting party snacks. You hot dogs, potted meat, sandwiches. Yeah, we not getting no the Saints on this. No, they ain't getting that. If they're in a rebuild, I'm in a rebuild on the grill too. We ain't doing that no more. No. But yeah. Take care of you and that baby, man. You and your wife, man. Look here. Stop making that baby unnecessary poop on himself because you get mad over there, bro. You know this is, man. It is what it is. Dude, who that for life?
Sometimes you need other people to put a mirror in front of you. Do I look like I'm getting mad, y'all? When y'all watch my reaction videos, I thought I've been pretty. I think the only time I got mad was last episode of the John O'Bone Show when just recapping that ass whooping by the Seahawks. But I feel like I've been even killed. I mean, look, I know I always say my skits are on Skitster documentaries, but at 2:30, if anything, I'm just trying to ingrain my son now into that this shit more than the game life so that when he's old enough, he's tried and true to what it means to be a Saints fan. And I haven't even got him ingrained with the Pelicans yet. That's going to even make him even more of a tough SOB. But I appreciate that call, T-Dirty. Hey, man, T-Dirty hilarious. Like, I don't know, y'all. I might have to make T-Dirty, like, I'm going to have to hit him up. I know he's on a California West Coast time, but he might have to be my new co-host. Like, I like T Dirty, man. He's like hilarious. And Lord knows my other co-hosts have just stopped appearing on the show. So y'all ever looking forward to an appearance by Ziggy or Sean or he who shall not be named, don't hold your breath. Those are basically guys who ain't on the show no more. So I'm probably in a search for a new co-host if I decide to go back to the co-host route. And T Dirty would be real funny. Can you imagine me and T Dirty talking Saints for an hour and a half? I know that would be laughs, more laughs on this show than there is on the Saints Field sometimes. So shout out to you, T Dirty. We got another text message from Falcons fan Kamar, and he says, bro, how does it feel to be 0-4 and knowing y'all may be finished the season 0-17? Hashtag rise up. Falcons were the only team that won on Sunday in the NFC South. Hashtag rise up. He also sent this. That's right. He says, who that, blew that, ain'ts, along with this gift. And you know what? Again, y'all, it's fine. Now, I hope that some of y'all, like, look, I know that all of y'all can't leave voicemails, and that's fine, but y'all can at least text me so I'm not just getting constant text messages from these goddamn Atlanta Falcons fans. But I'm cool with this. I'm not mad. I know Jerry gets mad in the chat whenever the Falcons fans come in and infiltrate the show, but that's fine because, again, y'all, the Falcons going Falcons. So, you know, that one Falcons fan is talking about some, oh, you can only put people on your field and it was as good a win no matter what. Kamal's talking about some, we the only NFC South team that won this past Sunday. You know, taking shots at the Saints because we're at our lowest point right now. But y'all know, deep down, y'all know, Saints fans, that the Falcons are going Falcon. So let Kamar and Juddy Bear and all of these guys, Pro P and all them, talk all that shit because we know come January, the Falcons are going Falcon. We got one more voicemail. And if T Dirty is not the king of the voicemails, then I think that this guy definitely is. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
This is James. Just James. And I got a lot of pushback last week about my beef with Kellen Moore. And everybody was saying, oh, James, just James. You need to be more patient. It's only been 1 month of the season. He's a new head coach. We have a horrible roster. Man, get out of here with all that. What happened to standards and practices, right? What happened to Saints fans having standards and practices? The standards of wanting a great team and expecting a great team. And practices in regards to the fact that does this team even practice, huh? Does this team even work hard with all these damn penalties and whatnot? And I know what everybody's going to say. Oh, but James. Just James. We were competitive against the Bills. Well, la-dee frickin' da. We lost to the Bills by what? 12 points, 13 points? What a significant achievement for the New Orleans Saints. They should ain't abandoned the Superdome. 2025 Saints lost to the Bills by 13 points. Have some standards, guys. Raise your standards. I want to see more, no pun intended, from this team. Just more, pun intended. And what was up with that stupid play call doing Philadelphia specials with the New Orleans Saints? Hey, Kellen, you're not in New Orleans anymore. You're not in Philly. You might be in Gentilly, but you're not in Philly. Come on, man. We suck at Philly specials. We suck at the tush push. Hey, breaking news, Kellen Moore. You don't have Jalen Hurts on your team. You don't have the Eagles O-line. You don't have Saquon Barkley. You can't get away with the stuff in New Orleans that you were doing in Philadelphia. But I'm being too harsh. Yeah, okay. When we hired Sean Payne, was he bringing the Dallas Cowboys playbook along with us? No. He brought that New Orleans flavor. And I'm waiting to see that from Kellen Moore. And I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. I was in Buffalo. Yeah, that's right. I went to the game. I traveled to Buffalo. I broke about 6 or 7 tables. And not on my own. I had to smash a Buffalo fan, a 2 or 3 or 6 or 7, if you know what I mean. But all damn day, I heard that same stupid song. And now it haunts me in my memories and in my dreams and now my nightmares. So, DJ, please. Now wait a minute. You know you make me want to shout, put my hands up and shout, throw my knees up and shout, come on now, shout, come on now, say, hey, 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 feel so bad. Because the Saints, they make me want to shout, ooh, yeah, shout, ooh, yeah, shout, ooh, yeah, shout, ooh, yeah, shout. A little bit softer now, 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 a little bit louder 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 now. Yeah. The Saints damn sure want to make me shout, but hey, maybe we'll finally shout ourselves to a victory against the trash-ass Giants. If we can't beat the Giants, I don't want to hear anything about patience or rebuild or moral victories, Jono. You say this shit more than a game. I think it's time for you to start acting like it. This was James. Just James.
Man, what is everybody attacking me for this week? I feel like I've been very sensible this season. Damn, T30 and James. Just James. I'm sorry, James. Just James. Watch my opening rant, James. Just James. And you'll see why I feel that the moral victories are acceptable right now. But you have very high standards. Good for you. Maybe that'll motivate the team to have high standards going forward. Wow. I think the only thing that's going to make me age worse than hearing James, just James, sing is watching New Orleans Saints football. Age me. I know my son and his 4-month sleep regression is going to age me like that, but I look pretty good as an old guy, I must say so myself. Man, what are y'all doing in the chat tonight? Brute Saint, because somebody, I think Brute Saint would be good to like recap. Like I see y'all going ham, like on these Falcons fans, like y'all having this debate about a topic that I'm not even talking about tonight. So can somebody just like recap? What are y'all talking about? Like, is it the bounty gate? Then have y'all been going back and forth about that? Y'all having like your own damn show in the chat tonight. Y'all just like let Jono ramble. We talking about a completely different topic. So can somebody let me know a recap in the chat? Like what have y'all been going back and forth with the Falcons fans about tonight? It seems like from my eye, y'all going about the bounty gate and the morality of the Saints Super Bowl trophy. Can somebody recap in the chat? What are y'all talking about, these Falcons fans, man? And let me know, because maybe I'll do a segment on the show, or like even just a special video, and I'll let y'all know what I feel about it. But I mean, I see Jerry say it's the Atlanta Braves. Like, what the hell y'all talking about baseball? Like, what are we talking about in the chat? Y'all be having, I always rewatch my show. And I'm always like looking at the chat replay. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers are having a whole different show than what I'm doing. I'm talking about the Pelicans and the Saints against the Giants, and these motherfuckers talking about, oh man, but in 2009, we all had Darren Sharp. And I'm like, what the hell? Are y'all even listening to me? Y'all just doing your own damn show. I ain't mad. Every chat helps. Every like helps. Give me over 30 likes before the end of this damn episode, y'all. But good Lord have mercy. Y'all letting the Falcons fans just come and completely hijack the show, huh? Let's shout out to Bruce Saint, because I knew he was going to do it. He says the Falcons fans are trying to lecture the city of New Orleans on integrity. The same fan base who trashed Katrina victims laughable. I'm gonna watch this show recap, and maybe I'll put in the comments my thoughts. Just know y'all, Falcons fans, they're not of sane mind, okay? And just know that come December or January, they're going Falcon, and we're gonna get the last laugh like we always do, okay? Thanks for that, Bruce. Saying, hey man, thanks for everybody last week, by the way, who showed up and showed out in the chat. Whenever I have special guests, I always kind of have a little bit of nerves. Like, man, I want these guests to come on my show to a small audience and nobody's interacting with them and nobody's engaging with them. So Bruce Saint, you, Sandra, Jerry, Sonia, Mikey. I hope I'm not forgetting any names. Please forgive me. Slim South, all y'all, even some of you Falcons fans. Like y'all made Brother Brill feel welcome. Y'all made me feel like I wasn't wasting his time, you know. So I really hope that y'all know that I appreciate that. Whenever I rewatch my shows and I'm like, all right, man, that was cool that, you know, Brother Bill and Bruce and Sonia and Sandra and all of them were showing Brother Bill love, asking him questions, actually, being interested in a topic that maybe they don't have much interest in because we're not Bills fans, obviously. But when I bring special guests on and y'all treat my guests with respect, y'all have fun with them, and y'all, engage with them, that means a lot to me. That makes me feel like, okay, I'm not wasting my time by bringing guests on the show, and that they're not wasting their time by coming on my show. So I hope y'all know that I really appreciate y'all more than y'all will ever know. Before we wrap up the show, let's play everybody's favorite game, and that is, of course, yes or no. I'm gonna get theme music eventually for this segment, like the The Price is Right theme music. It's everybody's favorite game show here on the John Bones Show, and that is yes or no. And we all know the rules. You must simply answer in the chat yes or no. That's it. I don't need any thoughts. I don't need any deep analysis. You only can answer yes or no, because the fun of the game is that we leave people wondering, why did they answer yes or why did they answer no? And leave a hashtag for the team that the question is entailed to. So first of all, look, I'll be Devin, because I'll have fun with it. But Ziggy is doing some professional stuff with his career, and simply put, just doesn't have the time that he used to have to do the John O'Bourne Show. And Lord knows I'm not going to pick and pry him to come do the show. If I had and I'll be honest, if the show was doing 1,000+ people watching, if you watch Hold the Mayo show, which is great, his post-game shows after the Saints games, his call-in show, he gets 1,000 people watching the show. If I was doing numbers like that, yeah, I would be on Sean and Ziggy and all the more. Say, what the hell are y'all doing? Y'all got to come on the show. When I have an audience, which I appreciate, I'm not trying to sound like I'm complaining, but when I have an audience of 30 people, I can't tell them guys, hey, stop and dedicate 2 hours of y'all lives, along with your personal lives and professional lives, to come on my show. That's not a knock against, the numbers on my show or anything like that. It's reality. It's reality. They got professional lives, and maybe one day that they will come back, but I wouldn't bet on it anytime soon. I'm gonna let them do their thing. Hopefully I can continue to grow this show and give them motivation to say, oh, I want to be back on the show. This dude John was doing 100 people, 200 people a show. But until then, I got to give them their grace, and just appreciate that they even gave me their time the past 2 seasons of what they did for the John O'Bourne Show. But he will be making appearances every now and then. I'm going to show him this chat. I see y'all asking for him. I'm sure he'll come back on eventually. But right now, I'm letting him do their own thing. And it is the John O'Bourne Show. It's not the Ziggy Show. It's not the John O'Bourne and Ziggy or John O'Bourne and Sean Show. So y'all should just hopefully be content with little old John. But hey, Ziggy is doing good. Sean is doing good. Y'all will hopefully see them eventually at some point. But right now, letting them do their thing. And I'm building up here on the John O'Bourne Show, at least trying to, improve the show as much as possible so that I'll make it where it's undeniable that everybody should be begging me to come on the show one day. If not, I'll just go to Instagram, because at least my Instagram and TikTok are popping lately. I know I said that every show, but I'm very happy that if there's anything I'm getting out this season, besides watching the games with my kid and just having those father-son moments that I get to document for the rest of my life, is that my Instagram and TikTok, but mainly my Instagram, is just doing numbers. And I'm like, about damn time. Because apparently to be a top-notch influencer, to grab these businesses' attention, you got to be an Instagram influencer instead of just a Twitter influencer. And so I'm glad that my Instagram is doing some big numbers. Make sure y'all follow me at John O'Bourne on Instagram and on all the social media platforms, because we're doing some numbers on Instagram now, boy. I'm doing more numbers than these other influencers who got 50,000 followers. I'm not trying to take a dig at anybody, but shit, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. The city of New Orleans sort of recognize, oh, this dude John O'Bourne is something to worth tuning into after Saints games every weekend. So let's hopefully I keep up that momentum, man. Hopefully that Instagram audience and TikTok audience as it builds out, because unfortunately the Twitter audience doesn't integrate into my YouTube audience. But hopefully the Instagram audience will one day integrate to my YouTube audience, and we can really grow this show. But think of it this way, y'all. Ultimately, you all get like the real deal John O'Bourne. I have fun. I play up the character of the Mr. This Shit more than the game. But you are my very, very niche community, but my very, very beloved community, who I am so damn grateful for. Y'all get the real John. Y'all get to say that one day, if I ever do like blow up, I was there for John from day one. And I'm always remember all of you guys who kept it real. Even you Falcons fans. Even you Falcons fans, and especially you, Slim Jonah, believing the $10 super chat. You ain't even saying anything. You just have this $10 super chat. But just know that every super chat that we get Goes right back into the show. And I appreciate you guys. See, like, again, a small creator, but a damn good, tight-knit community. Brute Saint, Kamar, Slim John, well, not you, Kamar, but y'all are this shit more than the game certified. And this shit is more than the things. Enough rambling. Let's get to our favorite game show. Yes or no. Ladies and gentlemen, the first question, leave a hashtag Ravens. Will the Baltimore Ravens, the 1-3 Baltimore Ravens who will be without Lamar Jackson for the next 2 to 3 weeks, will they make the playoffs? Yes or no? And leave a hashtag Ravens. My answer to that question, especially after last Sunday, is no. The Baltimore Ravens, shockingly, will not make the playoffs. I see Devin says no. He does not believe the Ravens are going to make the playoffs. Hurricane Mackie says yes. Even with Lamar Jackson's injury, he believes the Ravens will make the playoffs. Brute Saint says no. Pro P says yes. Slim John says no. Slim South says no. DJ Crucial, a Falcons fan who I have not seen on the show in the past, I believe. Forgive me if you have been, but welcome to the show, DJ Crucial. I welcome all Falcons fans. Hopefully you have a sense of humor because you're going to need it on this show. And hopefully you have thick skin as a Falcons fan. He says no. Sandra says yes, they will make the playoffs. Jerry says yes, they will make the playoffs. Juddy Bear says no, they won't make the playoffs. What up, Chad? Chad says no, they won't make the playoffs. And wow, maybe the bat signal went up. I haven't seen Raven Sports Media on the show all season long, but he finally shows up for the first time this season to say yes. Did the bat signal go off? Raven Sports Media? That's kind of very, very funny timing for you to show up for the first time this season. And, well, hopefully for your sake, Raven Sports Media, y'all will. But in my opinion, no, y'all will not make the playoffs. DJ Crucial said, I just don't speak much, but I've been here. Well, make yourself at home, homie. Don't make yourself too comfortable because you are a Falcons fan. Hey, wait, hold on, Joy Saunders. That's not how the game goes. You can't give an analysis. You just got to play yes or no. Next question. Drew Brees, who is doing a damn good redemption tour when it comes to his media career, is now a guest weekly on First Take, and he did exactly what ESPN and Stephen A. Smith love. He caused debate. He caused news alerts. He caused engagement. When he went on First Take last week and said that he likes the Philadelphia Eagles, but man, oh man, is the Philadelphia Eagles offense boring. And y'all, if you're not on social media, this caused an uproar like you would not believe with Eagles fans, and they were dissing Drew Brees and calling him all types of names. And the funny thing is, they were saying, well, we got 2 rings to your 1. Well, Brees still has 1. And guess what? Drew Brees is undefeated against the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs. I thought that was a stupid argument. But either way, the Eagles fans did not like Drew Brees saying that their offense was boring. And ironically, even though they are 4-0, guess what happened after the game Sunday against the Buccaneers? A.J. Brown went on Twitter and self-tweeted about typical wide receiver diva behavior, how he was not happy with the offense. So maybe Drew Brees was onto something, Eagles fans. Maybe when a top 5 quarterback of all time speaks, you shut up and listen. But I ask you guys, is the Eagles offense boring? Yes or no? And I am going to surprisingly say no. I do not think the Eagles offense is boring. I disagree with Drew. I understand Drew's point, but no. My answer is no. Mikey says yes, the Eagles offense is boring. Jerry says yes, the Eagles offense is boring. Slim South says yes, the Eagles offense is boring. Brute Saint says yes, the Eagles offense is boring. Chad says facts, Drew, so I'm taking that as a yes. He thinks the Eagles offense is boring. Devin, that dude, says no. He does not think the Eagles offense is boring. If I ever get a co-host again, I'm going to tweak the game to where one question, everybody is allowed to give their actual analysis on why they're answering yes or no. But for now, I'm just going to say no. I do not think the Eagles offense is boring, as well as Raven Sports Media, who agrees that he doesn't think the Eagles offense is boring. And Slim John says yes, he believes the Eagles offense is boring. Next question. That Cowboys and Packers game last Sunday was actually very, very surprisingly entertaining. Yet, it left a lot of fans with a case of blue balls. Like, if you're going to do it, man, we got to go to home. We got to go to Fort Base. I know I'm sounding very vulgar, but welcome to the This Shit More Than the Game show. I don't want to get the tip in. I want the whole damn thing. And the game ended in a tie. The exciting Cowboys and Packers game ended in a tie where nobody walks off the field a winner, but nobody also walks off the field a loser. The question to you all is should the NFL tweak their overtime rules and ban ties where there must be a decided winner at the end of every single game? Should the NFL ban ties? Use the hashtag NFL. Yes or no? I am going to say yes. Hurricane Mikey says yes, the NFL should ban ties. Slim South says yes, the NFL should ban ties. Slim John Unn says yes, the NFL should ban ties. Devin That Dude says yes, the NFL should ban ties. Sandra says yes, the NFL should get rid of ties. And our first no, Bruce Sain says no. He does not think the NFL should ban ties. He's the only one because Chad says yes, the NFL should ban ties. Jerry says yes, the NFL should ban ties. Bruce Sain, congratulations. You have somebody joining you on the top of the mountain. Raven Sports Media agrees with you and says no, the NFL should not ban ties. I will tell y'all this. If y'all want to elaborate on y'all yes or no questions or answers after the show, feel free to go in my comments and say why y'all said or answered the way y'all did. Jerry Saunders says yes, they should ban ties. And finally, y'all, we're going to end this with a New Orleans Saints question. The Saints are 0-4. And currently at the NFL season ended today, the Saints would have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. But we are not the only team that is 0-4 because as well, the New York Jets, who seem very comfortable with always being in the top of the draft, are also 0-4, and the Tennessee Titans are 0-4. So I ask you guys, as optimistic and as encouraging as you are right now, possibly about the New Orleans Saints, yet and still, do you think our New Orleans Saints will finish the year with the number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft? Yes or no? All right, so the Titans are 0-4, and they look really bad. The Jets are 0-4, and they are always bad. Is there a world where the Jets and the Titans finish better than the Saints? This is a tough question. It's just now quarterbacks too. Is Rattler going to finish the season? Is Sheck going to come in at any point? No, the Saints will not finish with the number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft. I hate my own damn show because I really want to elaborate on why I think we're not, but I got to follow my own damn rules. All right. Jerry says no, the Saints will not finish with the number 1 overall pick. Bruce Sain says no, the Saints will not finish with the number 1 overall pick. Of course, Johnny Bear says yes, the Saints will finish with the number 1 overall pick. Sandra says no, they will not finish with the number 1 overall pick. Slim South says no, we will not finish with the number 1 overall pick. Hurricane Mikey says no, we will not finish with the number 1 overall pick. Carl Dunn says no, we will not finish with the number 1 overall pick. DJ Crucial, you gotta learn the rules. It's a yes or no. You can't have any deep analysis, but you put no that we will not finish with the number 1 pick. Devin That Dude says no, we will not finish with the number 1 overall pick. Slim John Unn says no, we will not finish with the number 1 overall pick. Chad says no, we will not finish with the number 1 overall pick. I will say this, I don't think Saints fans would be mad if we did finish with the number 1 overall pick. But we will see. There's a long season to go, and we are just getting started. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all so much for joining in to the Jono Barnes Show this afternoon. It is October now officially. Well, not really. Well, maybe in the East Coast. Did we get over 30 likes? We got over 30 likes. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all very much for entertaining me. Thank you all so much. Like I said, y'all don't know how grateful I am of you guys. I appreciate you. Damn right we're doing my drafts already, Pro P. We knew what time it was this season. That's going to be the funny thing is that we knew we were ass. Y'all think that y'all something better than y'all are, Falcons fans. So when y'all have that eventual heartbreak, oh, I promise you guys, Saints fans, make sure y'all come tune in in January. Y'all tears is going to be so sweet. We will be back next Tuesday on the Jono Barnes Show. Same Jono Barnes time, same Jono Barnes channel. But before I go, I do want to say one personal anecdote, and that is, I know a lot of you guys may not give a damn, but God damn it, I do. I don't know if y'all saw the news last afternoon, but the Simpsons are having a sequel to their much beloved movie from 2007. 20 years we waited And in July 23rd, 2027, The Simpsons will have the Simpsons movie sequel. Y'all, I would think, well, some of y'all should know if y'all follow me on Twitter. I am a Simpsons geek. I am a Simpsons fanatic. And that makes me very, very proud. Let me know in the chat if you guys are Simpsons fans, but I am so damn excited that The Simpsons will have their sequel to their much beloved movie in July 2027. I was there on opening night in 2007 when the Simpsons movie came out, when midnight movies was still the thing. And I was there with my friends. I will remember that day for the rest of my life, seeing my favorite show of all time on a big screen. And come July 23rd, 2027, y'all see how I have Lil John watching the Saints games? Well, he's going to be 2 years old by then, so he ain't going to be in my lap. But I will have Lil John in the seat with me on opening night of that movie, watching the Simpsons sequel movie. And it is going to be such a full circle moment for me. And I am just so damn excited. The Simpsons are more than a game. They're more than a game. And the crazy thing is, y'all, one cool little anecdote is that the executive producer of The Simpsons, who is going to be spearheading this movie, I think I told y'all this before, but maybe y'all forgot. Al Jean follows me on Twitter. That's probably besides me creating this huge platform that I have on Twitter that I'm so grateful for, my greatest Twitter and social media achievement remains that Al Jean, my favorite damn show, the executive producer of my favorite show, follows me on Twitter. Y'all see he only follows 131 people, right? So why he follows me still, it astounds me every single day. And he followed me before I was even doing content. He followed me back in 2018 or 2019. Let me do story time right quick. The Simpsons did a parody video about President Trump, which the Simpsons always do parody videos about the president. But of course, you know, the Trump maniacs were very mad, saying, that's why your show sucks. And that's why The Simpsons hasn't been good in so long or whatever. So, you know, I'm passionate about what I'm passionate about. I don't say this shit more than the game just to sell shirts. This is before I even had an audience. I was on Twitter arguing down with all of the bots and the burners saying, screw you. Don't talk about my favorite show like that. Don't come at The Simpsons like that. And they grabbed Al Jean's attention. And so I was like, well, man, you know, and I'm just saying this like in jest, like not thinking that Al Jean was going to actually, you know, even respond. I was like, man, you could give me like I battled in your honor all damn day. This was me and my wife was actually in Boston. So I was actually on a vacation when I was doing this, you know, imagine that, like on vacation with my wife and I'm on my phone, you know, well, she's like, can you pay attention to me, honey? Well, this shit more than a game, honey. I'm sorry. and Al Jean actually responded to me and he said, hey, I appreciate that. Give me your address and I'm gonna send you some Simpsons swag. And he was a man of his word. Al Jean, executive producer of The Simpsons, mailed me some cool Simpsons swag. And I'm thinking, you know, he had to follow me to send me the DM to get my address. I'm thinking, man, you know, okay, he's following me for like the next week or so. And then once he gives me the swag, he's going to unfollow me, right? Like he doesn't follow anybody on Twitter. So I'm like, hey, no way you're going to continue to follow me. But then a week went by and he still was following me. And then a month went by and he was still following me. And then the year went by and he was still following me. And as of 2025, the executive producer for The Simpsons still follows me. So that is my greatest achievement as a human. My social media career is that The Simpsons executive producer and the guy who is creating the Simpsons movie is following little old Jono. And all that to say, I definitely had to use that to my advantage, right? When the news was announced yesterday, I went back on Twitter and I messaged Al Jean and I was like, hey man, I am super excited. I'm so damn over the hills that there's going to be another movie. I can't wait to take my son. It's going to be a full circle moment. Not expecting a reply because like the movie had just been announced. So I'm sure like his phone is getting lit up with a lot more important people than Jono Barnes. Let's say that, you know, actors and executives and producers and the works, you know, to ask him questions, reporters, you know, congratulate him or whatever. He responded to me within like 15 minutes, you know, congratulating me on Lil Jono, saying that's awesome that I'm going to take my son. And that just shows how awesome he is. So all I have to say, y'all, Al Jean is goddamn this shit more than the game certified. And shout out to my mom and dad, because it astounds me sometimes that I hear grown-ups tell me I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons as a kid. So I'm very appreciative that my mom and dad let me watch The Simpsons as a kid, because it led to eventually full circle moment, Al Jean following me on Twitter. And I say all of this rambling to say, I also said, well, I got to shoot my shot. So I was like, yo, Al, by the way, because I do have an audience now that's pretty damn passionate on Twitter and growing on Instagram or whatever, I know that in 2025 and beyond, a lot of these movie companies and studios utilize influencers to promote their movie. So I say, if you could do me one favor, if Fox uses influencers to promote this damn movie in 2027, you know one damn good influencer, I used to word it loosely, right here. And L. Jean said, you're damn right, John. If we utilize influencers, I would tell Fox, you will be one of the people that we use to promote the movie. So all that to say, if I'm not at the Simpsons premiere, or if y'all don't see me doing any Simpsons content in 2027, like exclusive content, just know that I was a failure. Because God damn it, I cannot not have the executive producer and the guy who's creating the movie follow little old me and not get something out of it with that goddamn movie coming out in 2027. All right? That's the personal anecdote. I'm putting that out there so I can look back at it 2 years from now. Hopefully I'm doing a reel for them. Hopefully I'm doing some type of promotional material for The Simpsons. I damn sure better be, because the goddamn executive producer of the show is following me. That's all I got to say about that. I love y'all. Tune in next week. Tune in 2027 for that Simpsons movie. And damn sure tune in Sunday when the Saints will get their first victory on the New York Giants. And y'all know why? Because this shit is more than a game.
You know.